Welcome to this Roll for Crit Kickstarter Pickstarter. To all our human fans, we are not Skrulls, you can trust us. But to all our Skrull fans, the invasion begins now, the week of March 4th, 2019.
We begin this week with the graphic novel adventure series from Van Ryder Games. This is the Kickstarter for Season 2. If you're not familiar with the series, it's a set of basically choose your own adventure books, but instead of using text, they use pictures. Basically, they are comic books, and there will be numbers within where you can decide where you want to go, what you want to do, and those numbers will lead you to different panels throughout the book and on different journeys and adventures. If you haven't seen any of these before, we just recently did a video about Season 1 that you can check out on our channel to get an idea of what these are like and what we thought about the first season. Season 2 includes 5 new books. There's one that is superhero themed, 2 that are Sherlock Holmes themed, and 2 that are pirate themed. And the Sherlock and pirate books do go together, so they actually continue sequentially from each other, so you can play a sort of a longer story with those. And there is some, for the most part, they keep the same basic DNA of the first season, but there's some cool, interesting stuff in there. For instance, the superhero one actually has some panels with QR codes, and you can actually scan those optionally with your cell phone if you have a QR code reader, and may give you some additional information or insight into what's going on.
Sounds like they need to make a cyberpunk one using that, because that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I think they could do a bunch of cool genres with these.
Little hidden QR code. Well, didn't we play a game a while back that had weird hidden QR codes?
I mean, Chronicles of Crime has QR codes.
No, like a video game, I think. Like we had to look around. I don't know.
I don't know.
For some reason in my head, I'm thinking that.
If you know what it is, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, but like you said, we already have a video on the first set, so you can go there and check it out and see if this is up your alley. I know you have already backed it, big fan, so obviously it already has our seal of approval.
It really does. You can get one of these books for $19, or you can get the whole complete set for $75, which includes a nice slip cover on there. So that is something that you may want to think about if you've played some of the other ones and you like them. It's definitely cheaper than they will eventually be at retail.
Next up, we have Tasty Minstrel's Dragon's Interest, but this is the deluxeified version. In the game, you are actually playing as kingdoms who sort of just got over a war, and you're all pretty broke. So you are taking loans from a dragon in order to help rebuild your kingdom, whether it's get more knights, get more money, upgrade other resources, but she is expecting interest and payment on her loans. So you'll need to make sure you have money when she comes to collect. If not, she'll burn your whole kingdom down. The deluxeified version comes with some extra fun stuff, including some really, I think they're called screen printed on the wooden meeples, including some metal coins. But you can still get the base if you'd rather just have that for $50. But the deluxeified is only $19 extra at $69. Supposedly MSRP, I think they said for that was $100, so pretty good deal. The game itself sounds really fun and silly, and I like the idea of a dragon not simply just being a reward, but being literally a banker.
Yeah, he's the shady loan shark. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I misgendered the dragon. I won't do that again. No, it did sound really fun. It sounded like a really funny, interesting mechanic, as you said, with taking money and making sure you can owe it back at the end.
Yeah.
That's always important.
Or she might take your kneecaps.
Yeah, you don't want that. Or maybe just burn you to a crisp completely. I don't know.
Not sure which one's better.
I don't know what dragons do. High Rise is our next pick from Formal Ferret Games, a game in which all players are construction workers competing to build the best and tallest skyscrapers in the city. As the game goes on, you're going to be moving your pieces around a board and moving on to different action spaces. However, you won't be able to move your piece again until other players pass you. So your first choice is figuring out which actions you want to take and how far you're willing to go before you'll have to wait a little bit before taking another turn. Eventually, those actions are going to give you different floors of different colors, and if you get the right floors according to the blueprints that are out currently at that round, you are going to be building skyscrapers of different heights. And these are actual big skyscraper pieces. They're big tiles that go right on the board, and how many floors you have determines how tall they will be, how many points they're worth. Sometimes there are tenants that are involved, and you may get extra bonuses for landing on those tenants or adding them to your buildings. There's also something called a corruption track, sort of similar to the dragon thing we were talking about from before, where you can get bonuses, but you will be pushed up this corruption track. And at the end of each round and at the end of the game, the person who has the most corruption will be punished. So you have to decide how much is it worth it to become shady that way.
I do like, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know there are other games that have sort of this, like the corruption tackle, like you can get a bonus, but whoever's the highest though. Mm-hmm. So it's not just simply doing what you want. You gotta look there and be like, second, you know.
Right. So if nobody's doing it, then like it really is dependent on your group, or maybe everyone in your group is going for it, so you're not as worried about it. Or maybe there's one person who's like, I don't care, I'm going all in.
But I think the important thing to ask is, can I get my name in bright gold letters on my skyscraper?
You can't, but you can buy High Rise for $59. If it sounds cool to you, it's on Kickstarter now.
Valeria Card Kingdoms is back, and they're hitting the high seas with actually 2 games together, one an expansion, one a standalone dice game. The first one is Valeria Card Kingdoms Crimson Seas. In this one, you will actually be adding a second board. And this board, there are multiple islands, which you can now use map tokens to travel to them, each with different effects. One lets you get more resources that actually will be taken away periodically. One lets you rescue nobles. Another lets you get tomes, which pretty much let you generate a resource every turn for free and can't be stolen, which is pretty nice, especially if you ever had those turns when you're like just 1 or 2 away from being able to do something. And the last island actually having goods that you can buy, and depending on how many of each set you have at the end of the game, can be worth points. So you'll have to be keeping track of what people are buying. This sounds really cool. It's not just simply more cards, which of course they do have, including enemies that will actually increase in power if you kill more of that enemy group. But it also means more rewards. So you'll have to decide if you push as hard as you can into that group before they're too strong for you. This sounds like a great awesome expansion, and it does come with a little extra pack, a little expansion pack 7, I believe was the number. For that is for $29. But this Kickstarter does also include another new dice game standalone that there's called Corsairs of Valeria, and in this you are rolling dice and sailing the seas. You can get this for just $19. There's also a pledge level for them combined if you're interested in that as well, of course. I'm very excited about this, especially since I just got my Valeria big box.
And fit all that stuff in there.
Oh yeah, it's a great box.
Yeah, I mean, we've enjoyed all the Valeria games, so I'm kind of more excited to see what the dice game is versus just the expansion. That sounds cool.
That sounds cool too. And like for $29, if you look, you're getting not only a whole new mechanic, which is nice, but I think like 8 new civilians or heroes, and like another like 10 monster groups. So, you're getting a lot in there. So if you're interested in Valeria Card Kingdoms, this actually might be one you want to pick up before others, since it adds a whole new mechanic to it, which sounds pretty nice. And of course, there's the dice game if you just want to try that out as well.
Thrive is next on the list from Adam's Apple Games. It is a simple abstract game, sort of like checkers or chess, where each player has their own set of pieces on one side of a board. It's for 2 players, and you are moving those pieces, and when you move a piece into the space of someone else's piece, you take it, and the first person to get rid of the other player's pieces wins. The twist in this one is that your pieces aren't just pieces. They're actually little boards with holes for pegs in them, sort of like those peg games you see where you're trying to get rid of them in a certain way at Cracker Barrel and other such places. Those classic kind of games. The way it works is, on your turn after you move, you can add 2 pegs, and you can add them to any one of your boards. It doesn't have to be the one that you moved that turn. And how you add them adds new movement options. So when you start, your pieces can only move forward in a straight line. But if you add a peg to one on the left side, then that piece can now move to the left. Or if you add one to the back, it can now move backwards. So as you play, you're sort of designing the chess-style movement that these these pieces can take. And every game, you can do it however you want. You can change it. You could load up one piece with every diagonal direction, whatever you want, or you could spread it around into the different ones. And seeing that just seemed like such a very, very unique mechanic that really impressed me, not having played it, but watching it and hearing about it. It seems like something truly innovative that's kind of looks fun. So I think it looked really cool.
The board looks smaller than I'd expect for something chest size, but I didn't actually look at the Kickstarter, so I haven't seen things move. But it does look interesting. I thinking about comparing it to chess. Like if you usually need to move a piece, you're like, okay, I know how that rook's gonna move.
Right.
But if all of a sudden afterwards, all of a sudden, guess what? It can move like a knight, and then you're like, okay, like you have to think not just where the pieces could move, but how they could alternately change how they can go after pieces.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like something that also, if you like games like Onitama, similar kind of vibe, also similar sort of aesthetic to the theme. It's got one of those
Lotus
kind
blossoms?
of zen, nice little pond with koi fish sort of thing going on. It goes for $35, and the name is sort of if you push 35 together, you get Thrive.
That must be solely the reason for that price. They didn't even look at like how much it actually cost.
I think so.
This next one is really for all our hardcore RPG fans out there. This is called the Storyteller Model All-in-One Dungeon Masters RPG Toolkit from Munchkin Metropolis. What this is it's a crafted box, which is about, I think it was 6, 12, 24 the dimensions. And it pretty much opens up as your screen and has all these crazy compartments in it. First of all, the dimensions, you can tell it's nice and big, so it has a lot of room. It can carry, I think it said like 2 full core book. It has a dice tower in it. It has pockets for each die shape or something. Another thing to hold just random drawers, but also one that can hold 100 double-sleeved cards, so in case the RPG uses that and stuff. And of course, it comes with a little notch on top and little acrylic pieces, so with a dry erase marker, you can do your turn orders. But this is a big wooden box. I know the basic one comes with nothing stained, but you can get different stains. It is $350, but as you can probably see, I'm putting up videos of him probably just taking clips because it's mostly him talking, but we'll probably cut to where he shows off stuff. He explains it very detailed, so you can see, what you're actually getting, which is nice. It's not just like $350 and just open and close it. He explains every drawer. It's 15 minutes of him explaining this thing.
This is for if you are someone who plays a lot of role-playing games and you want to come to the table and your group to be very impressed by how prepared you are.
Yeah, it's definitely like if you're sort of casual, it's not. But like I said, if you're into RPGs, I actually do think this sounds like a great investment because it comes with. It's really sturdy. He actually puts a link to like a strap. It has a place where you can get straps. He didn't include because he's like, why should I charge you extra when you can just get it off Amazon or whatever strap you want and stuff. And like all the other stuff, just having a dice tower set in there and just having everything set up in front of you so nicely sounds like if you do play like, you play not just D&D, but you have a Shadowrun campaign maybe with some other people or something like that. This may be, I think, a great addition to carry your game around. But like I said, it's $350 for the base box, and probably actually that's what you'd want more than I think the nicer wood if you're an artist, because then you can stain and paint the rest yourself. There are also some adventure kit things too, I think if you're more of the player instead of the GM, which I think was the initial pledge level, but those you have to assemble yourself. So you can take a look at that and see if you'd rather have that instead of the whole kit and caboodle.
Thems were the picks of the kicks on the Kickstarter this week. We hope that you enjoyed them. We can also shout out Roll and Write the Dice Game, which we did a preview for from Perplexed Games. That is also available right now on Kickstarter. Definitely take a look at our preview for that because we thought that was a lot of fun.
There also were, I think we're at the end of it because we're now finally in March, but there still were a couple more zines left that sounded really cool.
Yeah, if you like those RPG zines.
You backed one, I think, recently.
I backed a bunch of them.
Yeah, but like just another one.
Yeah, there's some really good ones out there that are going to be either, they may be in their final hours right now, so I just go through Kickstarter and check them all out. And let us know in the comments, what did you back? Are you looking forward to the graphic novels? Are you excited about the new Tasty Minstrel game or Valeria expansion? Talk to us. And you can also find us in that social media, right? All that stuff.
There's comments down below, Instagram, Facebook, our new website, the Scroll headquarters. I mean, not there, totally not there. But we're in a lot of places. Keep your eyes out. But until then, I'm Will.
I'm Jonathan.
And this has been Kickstarter Pickstarter.
Hey, if you liked this video, then like this video and subscribe to our channel for more board game content.
Would you kindly do it now?